Hello, welcome to Dumb Girls Podcast. I'm your host Justin. Today, for Batman Month, we're all month of September. We're reviewing Batman movies and trades and comics. We're reviewing Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice Ultimate Edition, which came out 2016. It's directed by Zack Snyder. I think it was written by David S. Goyer. It's not saying right here. Music by Hans Zimmer and Junkie XL. The movie stars Ben Affleck as Batman, Henry Cavill as Superman, Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor, Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. Though she doesn't have as much screen time as Amy Adams. Amy Adams as Lois Lane and Diane Lane as Martha Kent. And you also have like Lawrence Fishburne and that Scoop McNairy guy who's in the film as like Wallace something. Yeah. And you also have cameos by real life celebrities like Anderson Cooper, what's the one guy? Neil deGrasse Tyson, Nancy, what's her name? Nancy something. The dead baby girl, dead baby lady. If you know what I'm talking about. Oh my god. So like yeah, I watched this movie. It's basically 3 hours, which is like an extra 20. I wouldn't say like maybe like 28 minutes depending on credits, right? And I gotta say, I haven't watched the original film, the original cut since this movie first came out in theaters, which I watched in theaters. And this is the first time I saw this cut, and I gotta say, I loved the movie then, and I love the movie now. So, if you don't want spoilers, I'm giving the movie, 7 out of 10. There is problems, but overall I enjoyed the movie. So the movie is about basically, the movie starts off where you see, they redid the Batman origin story, where you got to see, Bruce Wayne's parents get killed, being played by Jeffrey Dean Morgan from Watchmen and from the new Walking Dead, and the other girl who played Martha Wayne, who also is on Walking Dead. They get killed after going to see Excalibur, not Mark Zorro, right in the original. They went with Excalibur this time, which if you haven't seen Excalibur, great movie. And that would explain. That was them trying to explain away the Dark Knight, why how Excalibur would probably shape Batman to to want to be a knight or something. Though I have to wonder, would Ben Affleck's character, would Ben Affleck have been? I would have to do the math. Would he have been a kid when that movie came out? Because, isn't he, 50-something years old? Jesus. I mean, that movie came out, the movie takes place in 2015, and that movie came out, 1984 or 1981? So, that's, 34 years? I don't know. And he's, 8? I don't know. In the movie? I don't know how old he was when that happened. My math could be 100% wrong, but whatever, right? Whatever. Maybe it was like a matinee, and they were replaying the Excalibur. Who knows, right? So after that, it cuts to Bruce Wayne in Metropolis during the finale of Man of Steel when Superman was fighting Zod, and you see all this destruction going around. Superman's causing a lot of property damage. Which, if you ever read the comics, they would always have massive amounts of property damage, right? And sometimes for some of the dumbest reasons, right? In this one Defenders comic where they needed Hulk. Hulk didn't feel like fighting that day, but they needed Hulk to rescue Nighthawk. So so they piss him off and have him go through a rampage through New York just to lure him to the place where Nighthawk was like in prison. So it's like for the dumbest fucking reasons in comics, they would have superheroes go cause massive amounts of property damage. And then there was the thing where, like, if he hadn't stopped Zod, the planet would have been destroyed anyway, or terraformed. I can't remember. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've seen Man of Steel, and I have it on Blu-ray. But you know, whatever. So obviously that I kind of like the contrast between the Bruce Wayne seeing his parents die to Bruce Wayne seeing Metropolis being destroyed, because both scenes were was trying to like display like this feeling of powerlessness, and that was, you know, the reason why you had Batman Bruce Wayne start to hate Superman, because, you know, since he was Batman, he probably it's probably been a while since he's felt powerlessness, right? And now seeing this like godlike figure, because there's lots of themes of Superman being a god, where you see all these scenes where he's rescuing people and they're like lifting their hands up in the air like he's some kind of like angel, right? There's like a scene where he rescues a little girl from like a fiery building, and like you have this crowd of people go to touch him, right? So yeah, there's this thing of like Superman is a god, right? And the main story is basically Lex Luthor, played by Jesse Eisenberg. I forgot to mention him, who is playing like a very autistic, like hyper, like young rich kid, who for some reason has like a hate boner for Superman, and starts manipulating both Batman and Superman into getting to fight each other. And there's this awesome scene where like Bruce Wayne and Clark Kent are both at like a party where like Lex Luthor is like hosting this thing, right? And like Lex Luthor interrupts them and is like, man, like Clark Kent and like Bruce Wayne together. Well, this is going to be the match of the century, right? Because they're arguing, right? And it's like, it's implied, like looking back, it's totally implied that even back then, that scene, Lex Luthor knew who Bruce Wayne and like back then, Lex Luthor knew the Batman and Superman's identities, which is pretty obvious, by the way. One of the complaints I have with this movie, besides from like, you know, obviously like Clark Kent, like besides from like Clark Kent and Superman looking exactly alike, right? There's the thing where like Bruce Wayne has this like mole on like the right side of his face, and it's totally visible when he dons the Batman costume. That it's like, dude, like you would think you would have that removed. Like that can obviously identify you. But like I guess like Batman moves like super fast in the movie, so like you know, criminals and cops like don't really get like that much of a look. But like, you know, Jim Gordon would have, but he's not in this movie, right? I forget which movie he shows up in. I think it's like the Justice League movie, right? Yeah. So like, while that's going on, Wonder Woman's also in the movie, and like, you know, she's also looking into like Lex Luthor, right? And like Lex Luthor was doing research on potential metahumans, where Bruce Wayne gets that data, and that's how he like recruits everybody in the Justice League movie, right? And there's this cool scene, and they pretty much set up the Justice League in this movie, where you get like little sneak peeks on who the different actors are, different characters are. There's even a great scene where Flash shows up. Flash shows up to warn Bruce Wayne about like the future, right? Which we'll probably get to see that scene from the Flash's perspective when the Flashpoint movie comes out, or whatever that Flash movie is being called, right? Which apparently that's going to be the last movie with Ben Affleck Batman, and they're going to replace him with Michael Keaton Batman, which from the Tim Burton verse apparently. Which I hope that shit's bullshit, but apparently it does not look like it, because apparently Michael Keaton signed like a 3-movie deal, which is such bullshit that because the Snyder movies didn't do well, they're just going to fucking retcon everything in the Flash movie, right? It's like, how retarded is it that you're replacing Ben Affleck, which obviously you thought he was a good idea to have in this movie when they apparently paid him like what, $50 million to be in this movie, or some crazy amount. And they're gonna replace him with an actor who's like almost 70 years old, and he's gonna be in multiple like movies. It's so fucking dumb, dude. Like I like Michael Keaton Batman, but it's too little, too late. You might as well keep the fucking Ben Affleck Batman, even though I'm not a huge fan of the costume, but the costume is obviously based off the Frank Miller costume, so like, you gotta deal with it, right? Which the movie obviously is like a combination of Death of Superman, or Superman Doomsday, whatever you want to call it, and The Dark Knight Returns, right? Which, like Doomsday shows up at the end of the movie, though it's not really Doomsday. Jesse Eisenberg, Lex Luthor, takes Zod's corpse, and using Kryptonian technology, like the ship that crashed, was able to resurrect him and basically turn him into like a weapon, like Doomsday, right? Which that fight was great and all, but it was like, wow, I thought it was a little too early to kill off Superman, but like whatever, they brought him back in the next movie, right? Right. So you can't really complain. It was a great fight, even though there's lots of CGI bullshit. But like, you have to deal, if you want like cinematic, epic fights with godlike characters, you gotta deal with the CGI stuff. And it was great to see like Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman join forces and fight, right? In a movie, right? This is like the first time that's ever happened in movie history, right? So this movie broke a lot of ground, right? Broke a lot of ground, history, right? And this is like the first, like, honestly, guys, this is like the first DC movie, right, where it felt like the comic books to me, like, which a lot of movies honestly didn't, right? Especially the realistic fucking Nolan movies. But this movie felt like a comic book to me, right? And if you're a comic book fan and you love these superheroes, don't you want the movies to be like the comic books, right? Not the other way around, which fucking Marvel constantly is doing, right? Which is why I prefer DC over Marvel, because DC, at least with Zack Snyder, was trying to make like the superhero movies like the comics, where Marvel keeps fucking around and trying to make the comics like the fucking movies, and that's like that's backwards thinking in my opinion, right? Yeah, so I love this movie visually. I think the movie great. The dialogue I thought was great. No stupid jokes in the movie. I love Jeremy Irons as Alfred. He was amazing in this movie. And now he tries to put, like, he's like a Superman fanboy, and he's like trying to get Bruce Wayne to like double think trying to kill like Superman, right? Yeah. Which that fight, honestly, I think it was good, but it was like, dude, like Superman played it a bit rough when he was trying to get, Bruce Wayne to, like, he was trying to get Bruce Wayne's help to help rescue his mom from Lex Luthor, right? And I know people hate the whole like Martha scene, but you know what, dude, it was the thing where like him having the same same first name, their mothers both having the same first name, that 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 made like Superman look like a human in like Batman's eyes, when Batman throughout the movie sees like Superman as like a potential monster gone wrong, right? And he didn't even see him as like a person. It wasn't until like that moment where he sees Superman weak and like begging him to like go save his mom, did he realize, oh, that this guy I'm about to kill is actually a person, right? Which I forgot to mention, Batman kills in this, which I honestly don't have a problem, because like he keeps mentioning, man, like fucking 20 years in Gotham. I've been fighting crime for 20 years in fucking Gotham, man. And Gotham's like supposed to be like the Detroit, Chicago of like, you know, of the, you know, this universe, right? So you can't really blame him, and especially since, you know, this Batman is supposed to be based off like the Frank Miller Dark Knight Returns Batman, where that Batman at the end of Returns decides, fuck it, I kill people now. I'm so sick of this bullshit. Like he kills the Joker. He kills the Joker in both like Returns and Strikes Again, which is a different Joker, right? Which, go check out my review if you haven't seen my review of that. But I don't know. I love this movie. Honestly, I don't see like why DC fans would hate this movie, honestly, because you got, not only did you got to see your favorite characters fight together, right? But you also got to see fucking parademons, man. Parademons and like a Batman film. That's the one thing from Kevin Smith's review, which obviously he's just shill, but he was like, right, man, like you got to see parademons in a fucking movie, man. That's fucking awesome, dude. Right? And though I kind of have a problem with the ending of this movie, like the movie ends with like Lex Luthor, before he gets arrested, using the Kryptonian ship to contact Steppenwolf, right? And he knew, hey, Steppenwolf and the dark side were gonna come to the planet to fuck shit up. Why would he? That's the thing about this movie that doesn't make sense to me. Why are you? Because his thing was that he wanted to protect humanity from Superman, right? This godlike character, right? Who, you know, because, you know, Lex Luthor was beaten the crap out of by his dad. He hates God for some reason, and like he sees like Superman as like, you know, an avatar of God, and that's why he wants to kill him. And like, so like, yeah, I get like, okay, you want revenge on Superman, but like you're gonna fucking fuck over humanity just to get at Superman. You're gonna sell the human race when like you were telling people like, hey, we need to protect humanity from Superman. That seemed kind of stupid to me, right? But overall, I enjoyed the movie. Though, like, one thing I kind of didn't like, there was a scene, I don't even think it was in the original, when, like, Amy Adams, who has a lot more screen time in this movie than she did in the original cut, is, like, you know, held hostage by the terrorists or whatever in the desert, right? And you have these Marines go on horseback to disobeying orders, going on horseback to rescue her, right? That would have, and you have this one like you know, bad attitude guy who's like in charge, right? Who's like flipping off the drones because he wants to, like, you know, he wants to rescue them. He doesn't want them to just drone strike everybody. That would have been a good opportunity to have, like, you know, Joel Kinnaman, or like the actor who plays Rick Flag. That would have been a good, like a good scene to introduce Rick Flag from Suicide Squad, because he was a soldier before that, right? But like, that's the thing where
this movie might have been made before that, I think this movie came out the same year. Didn't this movie came out the same year as Suicide Squad or a year before? Yeah, I think no, I think the original cut came out like in 2015, right? So this came out a year before. So yeah, he probably wasn't even casted at that time, right? But if he was casted and they didn't use him, man, I thought that would have been that was a wasted opportunity where they could have used like Rick Flag. Yeah, I think that he wasn't even casted at that point because like originally they want apparently they want Tom Hardy to play Rick Flag and he turned it down, which I don't blame him, man. Which when did like Venom come out? Because I think he was already like news of that of him being Eddie Brock was around in 2015, wasn't it? I could be wrong. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I enjoyed this movie. I think the people who hate this movie are Marvel fanboys who want everything to be like want all their superhero movies to be like dumbed down, lighthearted bullshit for families, man. Which I love this movie, man. They even have swearing in this fucking film, right? Which I love the darkness and like the dark stuff because Batman is supposed to be dark, man. Batman, if you want Batman to be light, go watch the fucking cartoons, man. Batman's supposed to be dark, man, and he's fucking awesome in this. Ben Affleck did a great job, which apparently he always wanted to be Batman, play Batman, and the reason why he took the Daredevil role because he thought that was like the closest he was ever gonna get to play Batman. So it's a real shame that they're gonna fucking replace him with a 70-year-old Michael Keaton. Which I think he's not even 70. I think he's like 68 or something. But like, holy fuck, dude, that's so retarded. Maybe 10 years ago you could have used Michael Keaton. But like, fucking, now you're gonna use Michael Keaton? Too little, too late. Get the fuck out of here. We want Batfleck this day, man. Or if we can't get Batfleck, maybe Josh Brolin. Josh Brolin would have been a fucking awesome Batman. He could still be a good middle-aged Batman. Holy fuck, dude. Oh, that's it. That's all I gotta say for this review. So, like, my next review for Batman month is going to be a comic book review. It's going to be Batman by Brian K. Vaugh. And then after that, we're going to do something lighthearted. We're going to review the animated movie Batman Return of the Caped Crusader, where they got a lot of the 60s actors to reprise their roles from the show in the original animated movie. So I'm looking forward to that. I haven't seen the movie yet. I actually got it at a DVD bin at a convenience store. So I don't know. I've been looking forward to watching that movie. All right, guys, that's it. Peace.